So I was homeschooled till about the age of 11. My father decided to homeschool me. He did not think that his children should be put in the school system. And I did not go to school until I was 35 years old. I graduated William Patterson University with 2 bachelor's degrees in communications. And I did that while raising children and working. So I was a single mom. Yeah, so I know I have an idea, especially, for Black women in America who are considered the most educated women in America. It can be challenging, especially if you're a single mom. But not only that, I was also dealing with a lot of trauma from my childhood, because even though my father, he was a well-known music video director, he directed Killing Me Softly by the Fugees. He also was a pedophile, and he started molesting me when I was 8 years old. So out of my 5 children, 4 of them are actually a result of the incestuous abuse that he committed against me. So I didn't escape him until I was 24 years old. And his intention and the reasons why he did not provide me an education was because I'm sure he was aware that education empowers individuals. And if they know what's happening in the world and they know how to fend for themselves, then it's more likely that they will fight against abuses and oppressions. So he abused me and 4 other siblings. He abused me and 4 other siblings. I have 4 children by him, and 2 of my sisters have 1 child each. One of my children had a condition called spinal muscular atrophy, and she passed away when she was 9 years old. That was in 2010. But because I was dedicated to her and her health and her quality of life, that is what prevented me from going to school sooner than I would have liked. So her expiration was bittersweet. It was bittersweet because, of course, I lost my baby who I loved, but her returning to the Creator also opened up opportunities for me. So I had to navigate. I had to get my GED, and my scores were high enough that I received a high school diploma. Then initially I went to Essex County College. I got my associate's degree in communications there. Then I transferred to William Patterson University with over $35,000 in scholarships. So my organization is called Precious Little Ladies Incorporated. And our mission is to combat child molestation, domestic violence, incestuous abuse, and sexual assault by strengthening the bonds between mothers and daughters. What to do to prevent abuse, and also be a support system and a guide for people who are surviving abuse or who has survived abuse. So we focus on that because in my situation, my mom was not an ally. She knew what was happening. She learned that my father was raping me when I was 10 years old, and she didn't do anything about it. She chose her husband over her children, and that's how this was perpetuated. So, the severity of what my father did can only have happened if he had people around him that enabled him, and he did. So that's where I am really focused on educating the public to let them know what the impacts are on survivors of sexual abuse. So I want to encourage you as home health aides to be as empathetic as possible and open up your mind and your energy to looking out for the signs of whether it be a woman that's being abused, a man that's being abused, because that does happen as well, or children that are being abused. But my website, which I'm going to give the information to James on preciouslittleladies.org, we have a wealth of information, a wealth of resources and links there. We are redeveloping a survivor support group. Right now is online, but because of the pandemic, of course, we couldn't meet in person as much because we was meeting in person here in East Orange at the East Orange Library. So we want to get that back into place because especially also through the pandemic, a lot of children were abused throughout the pandemic. So while reports were actually on a downtick, it was because the children were not around nurses and guidance counselors